my son and I are driving down to Dallas so that he can buy a car. My son's name is Caden, and he turned 18 this week. He's had a job since he was 14, and he saved up his money, and so when he turned 16, he bought this car and paid cash. Now he's wanting to upgrade to something else. He has a pretty sizable down payment, but he still has to finance a decent portion of it, so we'll see how this goes. So we forgot the title and some of the financial paperwork. Okay, we have the title, we have the financials, we have the check that we need to actually put the down payment. I think we're ready. All right, what kind of car are you gonna get?
A Hyundai Veloster.
Is this gonna make my insurance go up?
Probably.
Okay, remember we have a deal. If it goes up $50 or more, you have to cover the difference.
I remember agreeing to this, but okay.
Construction. How would you describe Buc-ee's?
Large.
It's kind of like if a Quick Trip and a Costco had a baby. That's Buc-ee's. If you've never been to Buc-ee's, it's worth the trip the next time you're in Texas. Many of our trips to Texas with the kids includes a stop at Buc-ee's, although I have to admit, this one hit different. You know, you teach your kids a lot of things as they grow up. You teach them how to walk and how to hold a spoon. You teach them how to ride a bike and help them with their math homework. And then one day, you're teaching them about bank loans and interest rates and how to negotiate with a car dealer. On one hand, it's pretty cool because you're getting to share with them things that they need to know to be an adult. But it's also bittersweet because that means they're becoming an adult that eventually is going to move out and be on their own. All right, what do you think?
It's nice.
Yeah? My son had very specific desires when it came to this car. The biggest one being that he wanted a 6-speed manual transmission. And so he scoured the internet looking for cars, and he found one in Tulsa, found one in Kansas City. But this one in Dallas, this gray one, was, according to him, the best deal, and it had the lowest miles. It was the one he wanted the most. And so he orchestrated all of this. He's the one that found the car and did the research about trade-in values and the value of this car. He earned the money that was going to be the down payment for this new car. He earned the money that he used to pay cash for the car he was currently driving that he was going to turn in as a trade-in. And even when we were down there talking with the guy, I mean, I led him and guided him a little bit, but man, for the most part, when it came to negotiating the cost of the vehicle and also the value of the trade-in, like he did all that. I was super proud of him. And then he did this to my insurance.
Hi, Dave. How may I help you?
I need to add a vehicle to the policy.
It'll be a $177.12 decrease in the rate from June 18th until January 1st.
You made my insurance go down. How did you do that?
'Cause I'm good.
How did he do that? I mean, the most important thing is that he's okay. The car is not, but he is okay. So just to give you a little bit of context, today is Sunday, And it wasn't last Friday, but it was the Friday before that we drove down to Dallas to purchase this vehicle. So this is day 8, so it's been a little over a week since we first bought the car. And talking to him on the phone, he didn't seem stressed out, he didn't seem freaked out or any of that. He actually was pretty calm, all things considered. So I didn't ask a lot of questions. I thought, well, we'll just get there. But we're like on the other side of town, and so it took us a good 20 minutes just to get to where he was. And man, that was the longest 20 minutes that I can remember in a long time. We have no idea what we're walking into. So we pull up on the accident in at the area where he was at. We see his vehicle and the front end is smashed in pretty good. And there is a mid-80s red pickup truck in front of him that doesn't have a single scratch on it. So apparently there was 3 vehicles involved. There was one in the front that stopped suddenly, and so the truck in the middle slammed on their brakes to not hit that first car. And then my son, who is the third car, same thing, is behind this truck and couldn't react in time and hit the truck. The first car actually flipped around and sped away and fled the scene. So that's kind of where we're at. We're a little bit in limbo, and it seems like a lot of damage, but maybe it's not enough to total it. Honestly, we kind of don't want it to be totaled. We'd like to keep the car. All right, today is Tuesday. We have heard from the insurance company and we've talked with their claims department. The car is being towed from the tow yard to their assessment place, and they should look at it either today or tomorrow. So that means we should know pretty soon if they can actually repair the car or if they're gonna call it a loss if they call it totaled. So now it's Thursday and we still have not heard from the insurance company yet. So hopefully, man, I hope we hear something today.
So, in regards to the vehicle, it was deemed a total loss, and with that, I needed to go over kind of the next steps with you.
That is not the answer I wanted. So here's where we're at. We're trying to pick up the last couple of things from the car. It is pouring down rain, and so we're trying to, normally you just go in the lot and you would be able to go in there and get the things, but it's just like crazy rain. So they're allowing us to go back there. We have to wear these vests so that we can go in here and get the last items from the car. Is finally here. We have to get the vehicle registered in our name and also in the state of Oklahoma. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to get the lender to put their lien on the title, and that's what this is. But the second part's a whole lot more difficult. We have to have the tag agency do a VIN and an odometer inspection, which is a whole lot harder to do when you can't drive the vehicle to the tag agency. So if we can't get this figured out, we can't get the loan paid off, we can't get a check, and we can't buy a new vehicle. We're kind of stuck. Okay, I think we're one step closer. They actually got it in the system, paid taxes, all that kind of stuff. They still need someone to actually physically do a VIN and odometer inspection. I'm not sure what to do next. Okay, quick update. Talked to my claims guy at the insurance company, and he talked to a couple of people within the company, and they discovered that when they process the vehicle, when they transfer it from our ownership to their ownership, at that moment, they can do their own VIN inspection with someone that is internal there at the salvage yard. So all I have to do is print off a couple of forms, sign them, get them notarized, send them certified mail, and I think we can put all of this behind us. So this is my son's car. It is a Hyundai Veloster. It is the 4th car that he has bought in the last 2 months. And this video is the explanation of that. I gotta figure out how am I gonna tell this story? So Caden has been working since he was 14, and when he turned 16, he bought a 2008 Ultima Coupe, paid cash for it. When he turned 18, he wanted to trade that in for a Hyundai Veloster. But he had very specific desires. He wanted a particular type, he wanted to make sure that it had the turbo, and he wanted a manual 6-speed transmission. So he scoured the internet and he found one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we drive down to Dallas-Fort Worth, trade in the Ultima Coupe, and drive back the Hyundai Veloster. But 8 days after that, he was involved in an accident and accidentally rear ends another car. So this is now total, and now we have to go through insurance. We eventually get through insurance and he finds another Hyundai Veloster. This one is also in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we drive down to the Dallas-Fort Worth area to purchase the second Hyundai Veloster, and we drive it back up. However, we get about as far as Gainesville and this happens. And so we had to leave the Hyundai Veloster in Gainesville, right at the Texas-Oklahoma border, and call the dealership and say, come get your car. So we leave that here. We drive my vehicle back up to Oklahoma. We don't get 10 minutes out of Gainesville, and the air conditioning in my vehicle goes out. So we have to drive the next 2 hours in the hot Oklahoma, Texas heat all the way back home. My son finds a third Hyundai Veloster. This one's in Tulsa. This is the oldest of all the cars he's looked at so far, and it also has the most miles. It's like 115,000 miles. It's not the decision I would recommend, but when you're raising teenagers, I mean, sometimes you have to let them make their own decisions. They need to own those, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. So we drive up to Tulsa to look at this vehicle. Now, this vehicle just came on the lot, and they haven't run it through their normal service process as far as just like their 15-point, just check all the things, are we proud to sell this vehicle? But they say, we'll let you test drive this today, and if there's anything wrong or anything you want to make sure is a thing before you buy it, we'll write all that stuff down, we'll make sure it's good. So we drive it, the check engine light comes on, the tires are a little bit worn. We write all that stuff down, say, barring that you fix all these different things, we're more than happy to purchase the vehicle. Now, we're supposed to go on vacation the next day, and Caden had actually arranged to get a loaner car from this dealership. They agreed to do that, and so we leave this car in Tulsa, we take the loaner car so that we have an extra vehicle to take on vacation, and we drive back home. However, the day that we're supposed to go on vacation, my son drives the loaner car to Walmart, and when he gets out of Walmart, the car will not come out of park. Little shifter thing, it'll move, but the car won't come out of park. It just, the transmission, the computer will not allow the transmission to engage. This is where Caden goes berserk. So we leave that car in the Walmart parking lot. We still need to go on vacation, and so we wind up renting a car that we can take on vacation. We go on vacation. While we're at vacation, we get a call from the dealership, and they said, we can't sell you this car because while we were running it through service, the engine broke, like just completely totaled through a rod, so we can't. So what happened next, I was pretty proud of, because after kind of going through the emotions that I think any kid, adolescent, adult would go through. He goes, you know, I've been looking at a certain range. What if I upped my range a little bit? Not to say that I want to spend a lot more money, but there might be the car just on the other side of that range. He was right. So this car is gone. This one, eventually, I guess they picked up. He finds a fourth Hyundai Veloster. This is the newest one that we have found. It has the least amount of miles. However, it is all the way here in Houston. So we drive all the way from Oklahoma City to Houston to buy our fourth Hyundai Veloster. We drive back, spent the night in Dallas, and we drive those vehicles back to Oklahoma City. And fingers crossed, that was a month ago. And I think we might have broken the curse. It's like we've been here before.
Maybe once or twice.
Once or twice, or 4 times?
No,
Well, 3 times.
Three.
Three
Most
times.
of us.
But 4th time's the charm.
Yeah.